Well, good afternoon. It's another nice sunny day here in Central Florida in mid-April. And we have a nice cool breeze, which is probably one of the last ones of these we're going to have for some time as we head into May and get into our summer pattern. So I thought I would take care of a chore that I wanted to do with the Jeep today. For our towing system, our breakaway brake system and auxiliary braking system for our Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk is the RVi Brake 2. It's a great system. We love it. We've used it in a Jeep Wrangler previous to the Cherokee, but we've encountered an interesting little problem with the Cherokee, and that is this. The RVi brake relies on a kind of a lip on the floor pan here in this area, like a higher lip, in order for this not to slide back up under the seat as the pedal is depressed. In other words, this plunger here goes on the brake pedal, and as it depresses, it exerts a backward force on this whole unit, which will slide it under the seat, and that's not good because then it's not doing its job. Not to mention, this sits awkwardly on the brake pedal and may actually leave the brake on, which you don't want to have happen when you're underway, because when you get where you're going, you'll have some smoked brakes and a very expensive repair. So the folks at RVi Brake were great. I called up their customer service. Now, mind you, I've had this unit for I think at least 2 years now, and I saw on their website that they had a solution for this particular problem. I called them up and they were super nice on the phone. They asked me what kind of vehicle I had, and they sent me out an adapter kit at no charge 2 years later. So kudos and thank you to the folks at RVi Brake for that kind of customer service. It's definitely appreciated in this day and age. So what we've got is this. This is our unit here, and this is going to be the back plate, and they sent these two additional L brackets to kind of support the back plate and move it out a ways, because normally this back plate is sufficient by itself if the seat feet have something to drill it into, and in this case ours don't. So what we've got for a solution to that is this L bracket, which will slide under the foot here like this up to this screw point, and we're going to remove this screw and put it in this hole. Once that's in place, this bracket, then we can mount this like so, and that will give us the amount of back pressure, if you will, to keep this from sliding under the seat. So that's what we're going to do here, and the tools you need for this particular job are quite simple. A Torx 15 driver, an Allen wrench, I forget what the size is, but they do tell you in the owner's manual, and then of course the mounting hardware for the RVi brake backplate. So that's what we're going to be doing here in just a moment. I'll say, so we're going to start today like so. We're going to add this to the front of the back rest. Okay, so we'll just tighten this down onto this L bracket. There we go. And I'll do the same thing to the other side, and well, wouldn't you know it, the other side actually went on a heck of a lot easier than this other side over here did. So I don't know if there was just a particular screw that had a thread issue or what, but they're on good and snug, and that's all that matters to me. So the next step is, of course, you move your seat all the way back so you can access this hardware down here. And if you look in here, there are 3 bolt areas. There's this one here, which is what we're going to remove, a larger one to the rear, and then a rivet back here. So we're going to remove this Torx 15 bolt here. And bolt is probably not the right word, it's just a small screw. And we'll set that aside. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. which, interestingly enough, you gotta love Jeep, right? That's a Phillips head screwdriver and not a Torx bolt. So, I'll get myself a Phillips head screwdriver. Didn't expect that. Okay, so I was very lucky. I actually had an Allen wrench that had a Phillips head end on it. So that saved me from doing another trip back to the garage. So that bolt is pulled out here, and we'll set that aside. Now what we want to do is slide these underneath the seat here. Or perhaps on top. I believe we're going to go on top. Okay. Well, the interesting thing is, I think these larger bolts are preventing it from moving back any further. And this might be sufficient for our purpose of just keeping this thing from moving. But I want to be sure that we aren't missing something obvious here. So let me see if this bolt will line up. No, it's not deep enough. Which is why I thought it needed to go under. You know what you do in cases like this, folks? You consult the directions. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so what you do is once you have these L brackets put on, here and here, originally I thought you had to remove this screw in order to get it under to bolt this. But there's no way to do that. There's actually a piece of the body that prevents that, and upon looking at the instructions on RVi Brakes manual here, they say to simply just slide it underneath until it stops up against that screw. So that should give us the firmness that we need, and it also makes this easy to take out if you want to. Once you have your spread figured out here, you just tighten down these lock screws in the center so that the frame stays at the consistent width that you want it to be. And you just use your Allen wrench for that. And that's basically how you install this backplate. So now, once the RVi brake is in position here to do what it's supposed to do, this connects to the brake pedal. When it pushes back on it, it won't go sliding under the seat. So it's got a good stop here. And that's how you do it for the RVi brake back panel.